Hey, good afternoon. Michael Wynn, Chief Digital Officer of Digital Ops, a division of RB Oppenheim Associates. And today we're going to talk about this phenomenon that's been happening for about the last decade called the internet. And believe it or not, just ask Compaq Computers, Kodak, Radio Shack, Blockbuster, Toys R Us, the Limited, Wet Seal, Payless Shoes. The truth of the matter is the internet will kill your business in the next 5 to 7 years if you continue to ignore it. Um, Nobody thought those brands were beyond falling. No one thought that they'd be declaring bankruptcy and closing hundreds of locations. But the truth of the matter is, um, the internet has not changed us. It's just really exposed us. And what I mean by that is our ability to express our emotions and how we think and feel about brands and just things in general, life in general, has been amplified by all the different platforms and all the different methods and all the different ways that we can share, use emoticons, all those different things has just amplified our ability to express those things. While the debate is definitely open, I think most would agree that there are six basic emotions: happiness, surprise, sadness, anger, disgust, and fear. I thought it was interesting. There was a recent study that came out by Promo, which is a video platform for producing marketing content through video format, and their information that they shared was that there are two real driving forces of why we share on social media. And I think it's interesting. Number one is, as a society, we are driven by emotion. They did some statistics and found that the most popular emotions, number one, 25% shared because they thought, oh, so either it was cute or, they, were just like, oh, that's special, whatever that. That sentiment was by far the largest sort of motivator for sharing, and then followed by 17% laughter. They found it funny. 15% were amused. 14% found joy in the content. And then tied at 6% was empathy and anger. So those were kind of the top leading emotions that they found were drivers of why we share on social. And then the other piece of information that I thought was really interesting was 32% of people share because they are driven by their need for identity. So again, when we break down that identity, 32% said that they share because they want to maintain an image of themselves. 40% said they share to make themselves look good. And then 60% said that they avoid sharing altogether things that make us look bad. So again, really the two things that are driving social is driven by emotional and driven by identity. And I think that's so key right now with what we're seeing with social and businesses who connect. When you think about it, like the Limited Clothing, Wet Seal, Payless Shoes, like those guys could have easily, sort of reinvented their brand and thought about, how people think and feel about their industry, and started with, that statement of those six emotions, like, I feel happy when I wear clothes from the Limited because, or I feel surprised when I wear clothes from the Limited because, or I feel sad when I wear clothes from the Limited. so again, that's sort of the exercise. So really understanding for you as a business, understanding these sort of 6 emotions and how people connect with your industry. Because sometimes it's just really hard to kind of look at yourself in the mirror, but I think it's much easier to look at your industry at a whole. So whether you're in hospitality or whether you're in, whether you're in the professional field, a lawyer or a doctor or a dentist or, whatever services or products that you represent, look at that as a whole, and then approach it, making those statements based off those 6 emotions, so that you can connect with and understand how your clients and consumers and members, if you're an association or an organization, where's the disconnect? Where are they disconnecting, and where are you not providing value? I think that's one of the great benefits of sort of doing this reverse engineering of emotions and how people connect with your brand and your company and your industry, is to give you that insight. And maybe that makes you think about how you deliver your products or services because of that insight. It'll definitely shape your marketing messaging. It'll definitely shape the story that you tell. Again, as a whole, I think what we're finding more and more is that people want to feel like they are a part of a story and brands who invite them in and allow them to be able to envision themselves inside of that narrative. Those are the ones that are successfully doing it. And the fact of the matter is, like, our BS meters are highly tuned today. It's like, man, we can sense when someone is fake from a mile away. And I think that's the most, critical thing too to think about, is you want to ensure that you are being as authentic and as true to your core values as you can be when it comes to connecting with your consumer base. And I came across this quote I think was really good too, that an emotional response to an ad influences consumers' intention to buy much greater than the ad itself. Again, the emotional response to an ad influences consumers' intention to buy much greater than the ad itself. And it's so true. I think if we look at, some people might call that emotional marketing. That's fine if you want to put that label on it. But, brands and businesses who are really good at measuring and evaluating and looking at how society connects emotionally through happiness, surprise, sadness, anger, disgust, and fear, and how to leverage that and how to tell the story in a way that connects with those emotional drivers, they're going to win, and they're going to find themselves 5 years, 7 years from now on top of their game rather than locking the door. So if you really don't care anything about connecting with your people, and you think that emoticons and social media are ridiculous and you're going to ignore the internet, great. Don't ever watch any of my videos ever, because that's a core foundation of where we're going. We're not going backwards, guys. Okay, we're not going to all of a sudden decide, hey, let's unplug our phones and throw them away and, forget, streaming on demand and, yeah, we're not going backwards, guys. We're going forwards. So either get on board and understand it and stop romanticizing about how things used to be, because we are in the now. So again, sorry to get up on my box today, but I've been kind of thinking about this subject matter for the last couple of weeks, and today it just kind of all bubbled to the top. My name is Michael Wynn. I'm the Chief Digital Officer of Digital Ops, a division of RB Oppenheim Associates. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and have a great week. See you tomorrow.